right now?
Yeah, nothing surprised me about Manny Machado, but I don't want to take it for granted either. So I'm glad you asked. Sometimes with guys like Manny, they play well, and you're like, yeah, he's supposed to play well, but he is doing a lot of things really, really well. He's swinging the bat well, using the whole field, driving in runs. Really, as always, situationally aware. I just love his swing. It's just such a pretty swing to watch. Defensively, he's been fantastic. And on the bases, he's been tremendous. Metrically and also to the eye test and to the end result, he's been one of the best base runners in this league. And, he's just a complete baseball player. And it's good time to give him a little bit of credit, or a lot of credit that he deserves, because he's putting together a really nice year in every phase of the game.
It's been exciting to see some guys get to come back. When it comes to Yu Darvish, what is the latest update on him as we hope for his return soon?
Yeah, Darvish is going to throw a bullpen here shortly, so we'll have a little bit better idea. The feedback from everyone, including you, was very, very, very favorable the other day. So he's trending in a really good direction. Throw a bullpen today, and then we'll evaluate the next steps. We do our part to keep him ready, but we got good players. We use the off-season spring training in a very intentional way to make sure individually, collectively, we're clear about what and how the players are going to be asked to perform and how they're going to be trained. And the conversations, they're never easy. But when you have a good team and you have depth, you're going to have guys that are going to go up and down, and how they handle it is also very important. And there's a lot of really good examples of that. Wade, he's probably the guy that comes immediately to mind. That last guy off the roster and on a club that last year, made a run in the playoffs and was a big part of that, and accepts the responsibility to go to AAA and be ready, and comes up and goes man center field, not a natural position, and does it very well. I could keep going, but the other example I want to make sure we get out there is Stephen Kolek. Similar example on the pitching side. Last conversation from a starting standpoint, odd man out, clearly disappointed, but at that point has a choice, go down and perform, or the game's not going to feel sorry for you, and he didn't. He went down and said, okay, I got something to prove to myself and the organization. I'm going to be ready when I get called upon. He got called upon. He's pitched extremely well.
Mike Gavin, obviously in the starting lineup today against the lefty. So what have you seen? He's had a great year. What have you seen so far from him, just towards that development, left on left, and his success that he's having there?
He showed. He's played baseball his entire life, so it's interesting, and I get it. But we don't talk about like, hey, you had a DH with the right on right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand that. But he's also, all these guys have faced lefties and righties their whole lives. I do believe when they get more opportunities, as Gavin has, not always, and we do get the split difference. I'm not naive to that. I clearly understand that, and it does come into play during the course of the lineup and the game. But in Gavin's situation, we observed in spring training that he was a guy that demonstrated he could hit, period, and hit lefties included, and has done that this year. He's had good at-bats against lefties and has earned the opportunity to get in there today and go compete.
From kind of a 30,000-foot view, what were you most pleased with in the last week and a half?
I continue to be pleased with some of the similar things. The preparation has really been elite in the pregame, understanding the meetings, and then you get into competition, and then you see what the competition brings, and the players are ready for it. They embrace it. They're hungry for it. I also appreciate it's something that can be cliche. Everybody wants to compete regardless of circumstances, and everybody expects that. The fact of the matter is these are men, not machines, and it's way easier said than done. And so for these guys collectively to be dedicated to competition regardless of circumstance, rain delay, which we had several of. We mentioned about impromptu guys are getting sick, and a guy gets an opportunity to go play, and just the day game after night game, all the stuff that comes with it. At the end of the day, end of the year, nobody really cares about. Cares about how you perform that particular day in that particular moment, and so I'm a big believer that at this level, it is about your physical ability. That's clear. but it's no longer a separator as it was for you to get here as much. Now it's about how are you going to compete regardless of those, and the preparation coupled with the competitiveness was on display again the last 10 days, and allows us the best chance to shake hands, and we were able to do it.
I know it's easy to take for granted what Jackson Merrill is doing, but how is he making it look like he didn't skip a beat when he comes off the IL?
Intentionality and credit to our rehab group. We had it was a busy group and they did a really nice job, but credit as always goes to players, and in Jackson's case, along with other players that have come back and had success coming back from, a missed period of time. It's about the intentionality of not only the physical work, but the mental contribution and dedication to what that looks like. So, you can go get your ground balls, you can go get your swings, but there's also, Jackson saw a lot of lefties. Black saw a bunch of lefties because he's going to face more lefties probably, or as many. But, it was about the dedication to his, bunting, playing the game situationally. Also, all those guys, every single day, they prepared like they were playing in a game for us that day. So they did their homework and preparation on the other pitcher. And when you stay mentally locked in, then you're physically able to be just that, able to play, then you give yourself the best chance to go compete when you start back.
What do you think of Rocky's decision to part ways with Bud Black?
Listen, Bud is a lifelong, well-respected baseball player, World Series champion, longtime coach, manager, been in this, in this area for a long time, organization, clearly managed it. Listen, it's an impressive career he's had to this point. He'll make the decision how much he'll want to continue, but I'm sure he'll have many offers. He's a very talented baseball guy, and he's clearly a really classy gentleman. And from my seat, you never want to see one of your contemporaries let go. It's part of it. We understand it. We've signed up for it, but Bud is a great representation of the game of baseball and a class act. Mental health day, because take care of how you think and how you emotionally feel about yourself and others is very important, and I'm glad the organization is acknowledging that. That self-love is important, and just a reminder for us and everybody to just be good to yourselves. There's no guarantee everybody's going to love you, but there is a guarantee that you can love yourself, and just a suggestion that everybody continue to do just that, just appreciate and be grateful for what you have, and if you do need some help with anything, that asking for help is actually a sign of strength. It's not a weakness. So, but just a reminder for everybody to love themselves.